Hello, this is Dinah Lane from Channel 18, and I am reporting from the Harwich Cultural Center, which is in the middle of Art Week. And I'm here today with Barbara Hageman, who is the spark behind the wonderful, wonderful mystery painting puzzle, which is being overseen by the Harwich Guild of Artists. Is that right?
Correct, yes.
And I would just like to ask you a few questions, if you don't mind, about how this came about,
Okay.
where you got the idea.
All right. Well, I think the first thing was that the Guild likes to participate in Art Week to the degree that they can, and they were looking for something that fulfilled their mission, which is for art and the community. And so they were looking for something that was not too small a project. And I said, you know, I did something in art school about 20 years ago that was an interesting exercise for people who thought they had to be able to draw before they could paint. And we had a young art teacher who said, oh no, that's all wrong, and I'm going to prove it to you. So we started with an image that was a mystery to us in the class. And she gave us chips that were small, about 4 inches by 4 inches, and then gave us 8 by 8 inch canvases and said, I want you to just paint what you see on that chip. And when everybody is done with their painting, we're going to put it together so you can see what you've got. And in fact, when it was all done, and a lot of the things that we saw on the chips really just looked like blobs of color, and not even very much in the way of shape. So we were all kind of going, geez, what is this? This is going to be kind of weird looking. And it turned out, when we put all of the pieces together, that it was a wonderful painting of Madame Monet, which was the wife of one of the Impressionist artists. And we went...
Excuse me, is that
Sure.
Manet or Monet?
Manet.
Uh-huh.
And so what we discovered, in the kind of the major aha, the learning lesson for us was, no, you really don't have to. And actually, what's more important is understanding the shape and the color and how you link those things together from one part of a painting to another. So I described that, as I am to you now, to the group. And they said, that sounds like a good idea. So I said, let's try it with some volunteers first in a small painting, which we did. And the volunteers came in, and none of them had ever done any drawing or painting, except we had one fellow who's very handy around the house and had done painting window sashes. So that was kind of his start. And they came in and they looked at what I was asking them to do, which was simply take a chip of blobs of color and reproduce that in a larger format on these canvases. And they all went, oh, this looks really easy. Is that all you artists do? And then when we got going and they started mixing color, they suddenly realized that it was a little bit more challenging. And they were going, oh, now I see why artists have got to work at this, because this mixing color is not so easy. But they all did a pretty nice job. And so when we were done, they said, we have a couple of suggestions that would help, we think, for the bigger project. And they gave them to us, and we've incorporated them into the overall project. So it is something that, in an art school setting, was a seed of an idea, but we thought we could expand it and bring it to the community. Our other piece of the learning for us was how to operationalize this as a project for 90 or more people, when it had started out, in my experience, as only 15 people. And that's where the rest of the team came in, because every person on the team, for example, Sedona Summer, has video experience, and so of course that's why I'm talking with you today. But Michael Rudden, who is our publicity person, knew how to do the outreach to all the newspapers, and Celine Frederici knew how to deal with the children, because we wanted parents with children to show up. And Weedy Tilsley, who is a former librarian, also knew how to do a lot with acrylic color mixing. And so she did the color charts for us. So everybody had an important role to play in order to make this manageable on this scale.
Well, what a wonderful community project. That's what really impresses me, is how accessible you have made art and this form of art for so many people. Whomever wants to be
Right.
involved. It's really a great, great opportunity, I think, for the community. And also it brought the Guild together as a community to figure it out with
Exactly.
you.
Yes.
So it's really a collaborative project and
Very much
so
so.
perfect for Art Week.
And the other thing that we're learning is people are saying, gee, I like this enough. Could I learn to do more painting? And we have, during the winter months and up until June, open painting sessions on Thursdays in the afternoon at the community center from, I think, 1 till 4 o'clock. And so some of the materials we don't use today will go over there so that anybody who painted today who wants to try further could come in next Thursday, for example, and try their hand at something that's more a total painting rather than just a hint at the total painting.
Will that be a free option for people, or
Yes.
is there a charge for it?
There's no charge for it. We use that in some ways as a recruiting tool to get people to join the Guild and start to explore art on a larger basis.
Yeah. I'm here right now with Michael Rudden, who is a member of the Guild of the Harwich Artists,
Yes.
and apparently has been quite involved in this project as well. And I would love to hear a little bit about what your part of this has been and why you thought it would be a great thing to bring to Harwich.
Well, first of all, let me thank some people, if I may. I want to expressly thank the Bach Center and the Highland Street Foundation for sponsoring this annual event, which has become quite a thing throughout the state. And Harwich, luckily, has a very active artist community, and the Guild of Harwich Artists are part of that. And we are hosting today our first mystery painting puzzle. Now, we want this to be an annual event, and based on what I've seen so far today, I think we're going to have a lot of support to be able to do that.
And you think this will be an annual event at Art Week each year? Is that your thought?
I think it's worked out well, and we're going to be working with the folks here in town. We're certainly beholden right now to the Chamber of Commerce, Cindy Williams, the executive director there, who is going to let us hang the completed work in the Welcome Center in Harwichport, and we'll have the appropriate ceremony to hang that. And we're going to have a list of all the painters who were there, as well as a list of all the sponsors, because we're asking the local businesses who have been very wonderful, supportive, a modest amount to support a panel. Their names will be listed, and it'll be up there for a year for all to see.
How wonderful. It's really a great way to share with not only Harwich, but all the people who come through Harwich and go to the Chamber of Commerce. They will get a great idea of our community, I think, by having that actually hanging there in the Chamber of Commerce where people come to get all kinds of information about what to do in Harwich.
Now, you may know that the Guild this year is our 40th anniversary.
Didn't know that. That's very exciting.
So we're looking for ways to accomplish our basic mission, which is for art and community. And this is a perfect event for us because it allows us to reach out to the businesses and to our residents and visitors alike and have them come in and spend a little time learning and sharing the joy that we have, which is called painting.
That's such a wonderful thing. Yes, it really makes the art accessible to everybody, doesn't it?
It does, and it's amazing, especially the youngsters who have come in. We've had some wonderful, wonderful panels being painted by children, and they don't have any inhibitions. They feel very comfortable expressing themselves on a panel. Sometimes the older folks takes a little longer, but you'll find that most people in the back of their somewheres in there have a creative urge, and we're looking for a method by which they might be able to bring that to the fore.
I think that's very true, and I've certainly seen that here on the Cape, that there are lots of people who haven't necessarily explored that part of themselves and their creativity until they get here and have the time to do so. And this is a real invitation to them to be able to do that.
Now, most of us are wash-ashores, and we've changed our lives, right? And so we come to the Cape and we're meeting, networking, and we're finding things that we want to become involved in. And our 80-member guild is looking for more members. We're looking for folks who want to come out and find out what we do. We have a guild gallery down in Harwichport that's open seasonally. We also have activities such as Art in the Park, which is around. We have the Hydrangea Festival. We also have plein air sessions. So we're trying to get out as much as we can, and the more we're out in the community, people will begin to know who we are and what we offer. In addition to that, right now we have bank shows. Every month, several of the banks in town have allowed us to come in and hang up a member's work for a month. At the end of the month, a new member comes in, and we're all booked out for the year. So it's been very successful.
That's great. So they take more than one painting of a member?
Yes, they basically turn it over the hallways and lobbies and to a guild member who schedules themselves in there, and once a month someone comes in and takes them out and new work goes in there. And that's going on at 3 different banks. The Cooperative Bank is helping us with that, and Cape Cod 5 is helping us with that. And in addition, we also have a wonderful program where restaurants locally have allowed us to come in and do art shows for several months. And that's been a wonderful way to get the word out of what the Harwich Guild does. And we've been very successful. We've done it at Jake's, we've done it at 400 East in East Harwich, and we really appreciate their support. It's made all the difference.
Well, thank you so much. And it's really, your congratulations are due on your 40th anniversary. This is a great way to celebrate, I think.
Thank you. And one more thing I want to invite people to. In September, the Guild is going to have something called Make and Take. Now, today we've been working with water-soluble acrylics. In September, at the Community Center, we're going to have different members of the Guild who work in different medias. We'll have pastels in there, we'll have oils, we'll have watercolors, we'll have calligraphy, we'll have several different things so people can come in. We'll give them the same material. They'll be able to try it, go to the next table, try that piece of art and see if and they get to take it home with them. So it's Make and Take. It'll be in September.
What a great idea. Did you say that's at the community center?
That'll be at the community center, and we'll get the word out. But that's an event that we're hoping to also, once again, at the end of the season, to connect people with art. And the Guild is very happy, and I'm very proud of them to be able to do this.
As you should be. Thank you so much, Michael, for talking to us, and thanks for being here today and doing this wonderful project
Well,
with
thank you
so much other help.
Appreciate the opportunity. Now, you're going to paint a panel before you leave.
Yes, I think I will. Hello, and now I have a chance to talk with Chris Banks, who is the president of the Guild of Harwich Artists and one of the movers and shakers behind this fabulous event today. We've already heard a little bit about it from Barbara Hageman and from Michael, but I thought it would be very important for you as the president to be able to say a few words about what you think is special about this event and what you have already gotten out of it yourself, too.
Well, this event has been so wonderful as far as opening it up to the community and the individual non-artists, people and children. It's always fun to bring children in. And it just opens up a whole array of things, such as being in the community center here, which is a wonderful place.
Cultural Center, yes.
Excuse me. Yes, I'm in the community center in the cultural
Right,
center.
right.
You go back and forth.
Back and forth, yes. So
Today we're in the Cultural
right,
Center.
we hold our meetings in the community
Yes.
center and paintings on Thursday afternoon from 1 to 4 most of the winter year. So it's bringing all of the cultural districts, Harwich Center and Harwich Port, because we also have the art gallery in Harwich Port. So it's trying to bring in the whole area, both areas. So it's just an exciting thing, and the Barbara and Michael and Sedona and all the rest have done such a fabulous job of researching it, getting grants, doing all the supplies, and getting all the publicity out, which is very big. So we're very blessed.
Yes, I think we all are. And the fact that it's a free opportunity for people to come and not only experience art, but to participate in art is so absolutely wonderful for the community.
And I don't know if they mentioned too that they wrote a grant for this through the Massachusetts Cultural Council. I'm on the board of the Harwich Cultural Council, but they wrote to Massachusetts Cultural Council, which in turn also is so important to be associated with the Art Week. So that is a good connection.
Yes, it is. Yeah, the Massachusetts Cultural Council definitely does a lot of other things that the Harwich Cultural Council doesn't have the opportunity to.
Right.
Because of funding, but it's
But it puts
great
us
that you
on
have
the-
support.
And it puts us on the map. It's just they know our faces, and we did, of course, the interview with the Art Shacks yesterday, and our supporters in the legislature, and of course, Sue came from the Massachusetts Cultural Council yesterday. So all of this brings it all back around.
It was a wonderful event, and
It was.
and the person Sue that you mentioned. What was her last name?
Oh, gosh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry too. I should remember as well. But she was wonderful, and she spoke to the fact that Harwich is really a crown jewel in the Art Week of Massachusetts, and that's very exciting to hear. Not surprising, but very exciting.
Yes.
So I'm sure the Harwich Guild has a lot to do with that, and I appreciate all your work. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And now I have the opportunity to talk with Sally Hayes, who is a volunteer here for the day. She is not a member of the Guild, but for some reason, she was intrigued enough to want to come and help with this project. And I would love to hear you tell a little bit about what it was that drew you to this project in particular.
Well, can I say on TV that my arm got twisted? No, I have a very good friend who is part of the Artists Guild, and they were looking for some volunteers to practice this particular project. And she said, would you come and practice? I'm not a painter, I'm not an artist, but I had a lot of fun. And it was sort of like going back to my childhood days when it sort of brings out the inner child on you, I think. And I like to get messy with the paint.
Yes, I think that's actually kind of universal, that if people are drawn in, they end up discovering something about themselves that they'd forgotten for a long time. And part of that is that childhood excitement about being able to create and get messy, as you say. But it's great that you're here, and thank you so much for helping out today.
Oh, you're quite welcome. It's been a lot of fun, and I'll be happy to do it again.
Wonderful. Thanks so much, Sally. Hello, now I have an opportunity to speak with Katherine Vacca, who is a longtime member of the Guild, I understand, and I'd just love to hear a little bit about some of the things you do with the Guild briefly, as well as what excited you about this project, because I think everyone in the Guild appears to be really highly invested in this, and for understandable reasons.
Thank you. Yes, I've been in the Guild for, I think, 18 maybe years, and right up front, I became a member of the board and have served in different capacities. I was the secretary, the vice president, and the president. And now I'm still on the board. And it's a great group of people, and today this is a great example of what the members can do when we get new input into the Guild, new faces, new ideas, and I'm very happy to say that this event today is pretty much put together by volunteers who are members from the last several years, and that's a great thing for us, and we continue to grow.
That's great. Are you a longtime artist yourself from before you joined the Guild?
Well, I am not. I joined the Guild after I had taken some art classes after moving to the Cape. So after that, one of our, I think he was a founding member, Jack Long, who I knew from Holy Trinity Church, and he kept encouraging me to join the Guild, and I did. And so I'm happy to say that I took classes, was still working when I came to the Cape over 20 years ago. But once I retired, I became more active. And I'm still taking classes, and I'm principally a watercolor artist, and I enjoy it, but I'm trying to broaden my painting ability, and I've taken a couple of oil classes recently. But I still kind of go back to watercolor because it's so, you can never learn enough. All right.
I agree. And today, the medium is actually acrylic. Is that
Yes.
correct? Yes.
Yes, it is acrylic.
Okay. And do I also understand that you have a show, or you show your work in some venues around the Cape having to do with your association with the Guild?
Yes, thank you. I'm at Art in the Park on Mondays in the summertime. Art in the Park at Doan, at the post office.
Yes.
And also, I'm also one of the members of the Guild of Harwich Artists Art Gallery. I am one of the people who started with the gallery when it started, which I think is 14 years ago now. So I'm still doing that. And that's a gallery of 24 members, and we all take turns, so it's a co-op. And it's a great place to be, and we all support each other. So it's exciting.
Yeah, well, it sounds like the Guild is really part of the heart of Harwich, and it's such a wonderful organization. It's great that you've been involved for so long, and thank you for all of your contributions to it and to this day, which is such a wonderful part of Art Week. I'm here with actually a person who is just painting for the very first time, I believe. His name is Jack Pierce. Big supporter of the arts, but not having ever participated before so directly, perhaps. And I would love to hear a little bit, Jack, about what your experience today has been like of taking a square and painting without knowing what the ultimate outcome is going to be, and also having had little or no experience painting before.
I would say, apart from painting a wall, Dinah, I've had no experience, but it was great fun. Very helpful. People tell you how to mix the paints, give you a template to work on, and I did my best.
I'm sure you did, and I can't wait to see what you've come up with, as well as what the ultimate painting will be, because it's very exciting. I'm sure it will be very exciting to see it all come together. So you got some good instruction today?
I did. Very helpful from everybody, and they made me feel relaxed, welcome. It was a good experience.
Great. I'm so glad to hear that. It's exactly what this is designed for, I believe, is to get people like you to discover their inner artist.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it still needs to be discovered, but I had a great time.
Okay, thanks so much, Jack.
My pleasure.
Hi, now I'm here with Donna Tavano, whom I actually know from a craft group that we are in together, but I didn't know that she was an experienced artist of many, many years, and she is here doing one of the squares, as well as having been a volunteer for the day. And I'd just like you to say a little bit about what it's been like to help get this project together. It's been really a group effort, I understand, as well as what it's been like for you to just sit there and do your own little piece of the puzzle. I saw you painting out there, and we'll get a shot of that a little bit.
Well, it was a lot of work, many hours, I would say upwards of a couple of 100 hours putting it together. We had to work through all the little possible, snafus before they happened. So we had a trial group come in and try to paint. People's neighbors came in, and we listened to them and their experience, and we tried to make it very user-friendly. There are many people today who've never held a paintbrush, and we had children here and other people who are more experienced artists. But it's interesting because no one knows what the final picture is. So we're just painting what's in front of us. And as artists, we have to paint, we have to learn to see. So that's really what it's all about, is seeing what's in front of us and trying to approximate that with our own feelings about emotions and colors. And some of the colors aren't exactly like the colors in the final picture, but I think it'll all work out in the end. And people seem to really be enjoying it. As an artist, it's a little bit of a challenge for me to do it also. And I'm kind of interested to see where my little piece of the puzzle is going to end up in the end.
Well, that's a great way of describing, too, just the whole artistic process. It's a different way of seeing. And that's what I've been discovering, not having ever been a painter before until just the past year. I've started doing a little bit. And I enjoy it so much, but it really does develop, for me, a new way of seeing. And I think this is such a great opportunity for so many people to experience that without ever even knowing that they wanted to. Some people may have been dragged here by a friend or by a spouse or never having done anything like this before. And we just spoke with someone, actually, who seems to be having a great time, who's never done anything except house painting.
Well, I'll also say that in the process of learning to see, as an artist or a person just today experiencing this, it enhances their life, because if they let that into their cognition, so to speak,
they start looking at things differently. They start appreciating things, whether it's a sunset or the way the sun comes through a window from, the west side of the house a certain time of the day. And isn't that important for people to really learn to appreciate what's around them all the time?
Yes. And this is a way in. Today is a way in for some people maybe to do more of this.
Sure.
So thank you so much for your participation in this and for your expertise. It's great. It's great to talk to you, Donna.
You too, also. Thank you.